Welcome back to the neighborhood, boys and girls. Our first guest tonight is Josh Haas. Josh, welcome to the neighborhood.
Hey, how are you?
Managing broker, Garden State Properties.
Runnymede, yeah.
Runnymede, happy to have you here.
Thanks.
We do things a little bit unconventional. We'd like to talk about pre-Garden State Properties, Josh Haas, because every person in this business, maybe that's a bold statement, almost every person in this business always has a really awesome story.
Yeah.
Like, no one says, oh, I graduated from high school and I got into real estate and did this. It's normally like I was a waiter and a blackjack dealer and then I was at a Nicaraguan gun-toting thing and I met a real estate agent, you know what I mean? So, tell us a little bit about pre-real estate Josh Haas, because I know from having some conversations, I don't know the full story, but I know you traveled a pretty cool path to get where you're at.
It's not a conventional path. So pre-Garden State Properties Group, let's say that. So I went to Widener University. When I was a student there, we bought properties off campus, myself and another, actually my cousin was a partner. And we started to buy off-campus housing, and that really got us started in the real estate business.
Nice.
From there, we morphed into getting a few other partners. Then we started to develop student housing as well down at Temple University.
Okay. In the good part of the neighborhood.
With the best part of the neighborhood,
right.
Yeah. So that was a beast. Over the course of probably 5-6 years, we developed property, renovated property, built new construction out of the ground. Probably managed and owned between 400 beds at Temple, let's say.
Nice.
So that kept us really busy. But we were always on the investment side of real estate. I wasn't really so much on the retail side of real estate, getting started, and we've now morphed into that too.
Nice.
So.
Do you know Steve Lloyd by any chance?
So Steve Lloyd was my partner.
Really?
I do know Steve Lloyd.
That's
Steve's a great guy. Steve, spent a lot of years with Steve.
That is crazy. So Steve came to me when I worked at another company, like 2010.
Okay.
And he was like, I got this idea, I want to do this, I'm trying to do this and that. And I was like a conventional mortgage guy. I never did any commercial stuff. I never did anything.
Mm-hmm.
And he was telling me what he wanted to do, and I'm like, dude, you're nuts. There's no one's going to give me any money for that, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Then bring the clock back 13 years later.
Yep.
I have no clue. He's speaking to a group that I'm a part of, and he's talking about this first. He's got all kinds of money now. He's on a boat. He's blah 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 blah, and he's talking about this first transaction that he did. And he's like, I had this property over in Temple, and it was here, and I talked to like 20 banks, and I couldn't get anybody to lend me any money. And I'm watching him go, I'm one of the guys who told you no, and I didn't. I'm like, oh yeah. Now,
that was us.
Now the stuff that he does is a lot more common, I guess, than what it was back then, because he was talking about like seed money, joint venture, ARV, blah blah blah.
It's a great point. I mean, Steve is a master of being able to raise private money to fund real estate deals. And on the investment side of real estate, being able to use other people's money and fund deals versus the traditional way is massive.
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, it boils down to, do the deals work? Do the numbers work? Things like that. The money will follow if the deals work. And if you can get really good at raising private money, it's a huge advantage.
Yeah, the leverage that you can acquire from other people's.
Yep, and with experience, more money continues to come from that.
Yeah.
Somebody lends you $200,000 for a deal, you do well, there's more money behind it, that type of thing. And we got really good at it. Steve was a master at it. I handled more the leasing and management, but I would raise private money. We would acquire. We had another partner too. But Steve is really, really good at raising private money.
That's
give him a lot
fun.
of credit. Yeah.
It's a small world, of course. You know what I mean? And now he does all his videos from his boat in Siesta Key.
Now he lives in Siesta Key. I mean, look, it's a charmed life, that's for sure. But he works hard, no doubt. And we had a great run together. And it's taught me so much on the investment side of real estate. So now translate into the retail side, and I'm a managing broker of an office. I can fast track an agent along on the investor side and learning and knowing how to do deals like that and how to underwrite deals and how to really get an agent to not just worry about the retail side of the business, but they're dug in on the investment side too. So
one of the cool things that I've seen, at least in the current form of real estate, I can't speak for 1985 or anything like that, but the current form of real estate, it seems like the people that are involved, especially here in South Jersey, are much more likely to help someone else than what I would previously believe. You know what I mean? Like wholesalers getting together and talking to other wholesalers and really giving up their secret sauce and not being scared that someone else is going to take them. And it really seems like they're looking to help and nurture and give back. And, you know, my previous business experience, like in the 80s and 90s, was like, I can't let them know my secrets because they're going to use it against me. And it was a scarcity mindset versus an abundance mindset. And it seems like our business now is full of really good people that are willing to help. And that makes it feel better to work in. You know what I mean?
I feel the same way. I mean, I can, you know, that reciprocates and it attracts. So, you know, take the subject of raising private money, and Steve and I used to do this all the time. We used to teach people how to raise private money, how to use maybe their self-directed IRA or 401k, and then they turned into being lenders for us because we taught them. So giving up the information, giving value, man, it came back to us right away.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
All right, so now we're coming into the Garden State Properties time for you. How did that happen? And talk a little bit about the role you have now and what you're looking to accomplish.
Yeah, so I was always licensed as an agent in New Jersey going back to probably 2003. But again, we were in Philadelphia doing more of our investment properties, things like that. So I never really focused on the retail side of the business. I left that side of the business in Philly in 2018 and came back to kind of reestablish myself in Jersey where I live, rebrand, and then start to really build the Garden State Properties Group side of the business. And since then, I've gotten my broker's license, and now we have a third location where I manage. So we rebranded. House of Haas is our brand. Nice. So if I can tell you the quick story about the House of Haas, my dad was a carpet. He still is. He's a carpet wholesaler. He and my uncle had a carpet business in the 70s. It was literally right across from the Morristown Mall on Lanola Road. Now it's all built up in Eastgate Shopping Center and everything, but the name of the business was the House of Haas.
Okay.
They would sell, you know, rugs and things like that. So when I came back to rebrand, I was like, man, what should I really do here? And right away, I'm like, the House of Haas.
Nice. What did your dad say when you told him that?
He laughed. Everybody in the family loves it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? The cousins and all that type of stuff, they love hearing it. But it's got a nice little play on words, and it rings pretty true. So
nice.
Yeah.
Nice. I'm trying to think because I've been in the area for a while. Am I picturing something like I'm picturing a logo like
houses, some H's in there, things like that. Yeah.
Is that what they had before? That you
you mean no for them? Gosh, that's so old. They didn't have a logo.
Okay.
They didn't know what a logo was.
I'm trying to think what the sign was because we've been there for a while.
Yeah, it was an old house, literally perched up on this, you know, right across from the Morristown Mall, and now it's just, you know, strip center, that type of thing. But, they had no wherewithal to do a logo.
No, none of that.
No.
All right.
No.
So now you're tasked with building this location. Yeah. This is yours. What are some of the things that you're looking to do? And if someone's watching this and they think, maybe I might want to go there and work and learn under him.
Sure.
What are you looking for in prospective agents and people to build with there?
So we're looking for full-time agents that really need to sell deals to put food on their table.
Okay.
I want them to hustle.
Sure.
They have 100% accessibility to us and to myself as a broker. You'll see me every day if you want. You know what I mean? It's not like I'm in some office somewhere and you don't know who we are. So accessibility is hugely important to us. Like I mentioned before, being able to teach agents not only the retail side of the business, but the investment side of the business and fast track them now. There's more and more investors in the market now than there ever have been.
Sure.
So being able to teach them and have them not just only rely on the retail side, which isn't easy right now, and also do the investment side of the business. So I'm looking for agents that want to be involved in that as well. Good people, you know, people that will cover for you if, hey, I need you to show this property because I'm this, that, or the other, I'm away. You know, we're a team. We don't label ourselves as a team, but we're a team in our office. So,
okay.
Yeah.
Now, one of the things I find popular in real estate right now is someone who's looking for that second phase career. Maybe they were 15 years in this career. They know that's not going to carry them through to retirement age.
Yeah.
They want a part-time real estate for 2 years and then transition into full-time real estate. Is that the kind of person that might make sense for you?
For sure. And I think you'll know right away what their makeup is. Do they hustle? Can they have the ability to manage that? And what does that look like based, their main job, if you will, and then how they would want to transition. If they have a plan, we're going to help you execute that plan. If it's 2 years, and you want to do this, and this to get there, then if you're all in on that, I'm all in on that to help you. Okay. And I'd love for you to be a full-time agent at that point. If you want to just have your license and sell a couple deals a year, I mean, that's fine too, but the time and effort that they're going to put into it, it's going to be matched,
right.
times two on our end.
You gotta be kind of low maintenance. I have some guys that are, not the strongest full-time people, but they're also low maintenance. You know what I mean? Like, you can't be low output, high maintenance in this kind of business.
Yeah, that's a tough combination. That's a tough combination.
Definitely can be. Unless you have some really great connections that I can exploit to go through or do something like that, like Chris Drager. He introduces me to some decent connections so I can put up with.
Understood.
Weak output.
I get it.
All right, so let's talk a little bit about the future. We do past, we do present, now the future. Talk a little bit about 2025. What are some of your goals? What's your vision board look like? What are some boxes that you're going to check off in the next 2 years in the House of Haas?
Yeah, so I would say again, continue to grow our brokerage. Having double-digit agents full time that are really focused on the real estate business. I'm also licensed in South Carolina as well. Okay. I'm licensed in Pennsylvania, and I'm also licensed in South Carolina. So we're continuing to grow that part of our business. It's a different company because we're Garden State's not.
Sure.
But that part of the business is going to grow too. So many people from the north are moving to the south. I met with a gentleman this morning in Collingswood that he's ready to go in about a year. Yeah. So we'll help you sell your house here. We'll get you there. So I think
Florida's just too hot.
Well, Florida's hot. Look, Florida's, they're a pain in the neck. But what happens is people move to Florida and they realize that they're too far away, so they move halfway back to the Carolinas. They call them halfbacks. Sure. It's a legit thing. Yeah. So we're in the North Myrtle Beach area. 4 offices there. That's Realty One Group. Dockside is our company there, but it's amazing. I've learned so much from them too that we've applied to our business here. So I see South Carolina business growing. Really just kind of ramping up the way we source deals for our investors. So we have a whole off-market program that we are really getting ready to turn the faucet on and sourcing deals for our investors, and it's exciting what we got going on.
Yeah, you talked a little bit about that.
I'm really excited about it. So if you want to buy investment property, we're going to be a real source for you.
Nice.
For sure.
Nice.
So, yeah.
All right, now we'll dig a little personal with you.
Sure.
Because this is a crazy, crazy business, and I know it's not just me, that a lot of times people have road rage and a bunch of crazy stuff with transactions going sideways. So what do you do in your personal life to keep you from committing homicide or from driving off the road? Do you do yoga, meditation, kickboxing? What do you do to keep yourself together?
We're always 100 miles an hour, so that's really hard to do. I'm married, I have 3 kids. Fortunately, one of them just got their driver's license. She's been driving for a month, thank God. It's crazy. It's nerve-wracking that she's driving, but she's able to tow a little bit of the load. And honestly, God, I can't wait for the kids to go back to school because the summer schedules are all over the place. When it's time for school, I know where they are from 8 to 3 every day. I do like to walk. I do like to read. I play golf. I'm taking my young boys to play golf tonight. Okay. So I look forward to that. But I think we go down to the shore. I like to try to decompress a little bit. It's hard because the phone's always at our hip, and that's one thing that I looking forward to 2025, just to continue to balance and just kind of put some time away for us. But walk, play golf, hang out, a couple brewskis here and there, things like that. So.
Do you have hard stops and hard boundaries? Like a lot of people are like, hey, I don't answer the phone after 8 o'clock. And a lot of other people are like, if the phone rings at midnight, I got to take it.
The short answer is no.
Yeah, me neither.
I'll know what's clients, that we can talk to at certain times, like that.
Sure.
I was just talking with one today. She's a tenant. We manage property too, so that's a huge part of our business. But she called at 8:30 on Sunday morning. And I had a conversation with her.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I was laying in bed, I will tell you. So, but
you got to be accessible.
Yeah, you got to be accessible. You pick and choose your times, but I don't have any hard stops.
Nice.
That's what it is.
Yeah. I find it really tough to have hard stops. I have hard stops for certain people.
Sure.
You know what I mean? Like if I know it's whatever,
Yeah.
I'll get to them in the morning. But
Right,
if the phone rings and it's 10 o'clock at night and it's a client that is closing in 4 or 5 days,
Yeah.
like I don't want them going through the whole night worrying about something and I couldn't sleep because I didn't know if I did this or that. So I'll answer it. You know
I'll tell a story too. We had this Christmas Eve. I live in Belmar. My sister lives in Haddon Heights. We were going to their house for dinner, and I realized that I had forgotten my phone, which happens twice a year. And my mom was like, "Where are you going?" I said, "I have to go back to the house and get my phone." She's like, "What?" I said, "I manage property. It's Christmas Eve. Something's happening tonight while my phone is sitting at home." I know that's the case.
Yeah.
So, yeah,
you got to be open. Yeah. All right, we're going to finish it up with one final personal question. I'm going sports. So you wake up tomorrow morning and a genie pops into the room and says, you can go and revisit and watch any sporting event that ever happened in history, and you can bring one person with you. What event do you want to go watch, and who do you want to bring?
I would say probably the '80 World Series for the Phillies with my dad.
Okay.
Yeah.
That was a pretty crazy.
Yeah.
Kansas City Royals, Tug McGraw.
Yeah. He had the opportunity to go to the final game, and he was sick.
Oh.
So he didn't go to the game. My uncle and my grandfather went, and my dad was out. So he missed that game live. I would probably be that.
Yeah.
And I was too. So.
The Willie Wilson strikeout. I probably shouldn't remember everything about that because I was only 8, and that's a little crazy. But I remember everything about the 80s. Yeah. For sure.
Yeah,
that's
great
awesome.
question. Yeah.
Awesome. Josh, thank you so much
Jim,
for coming
thank you.
by.
I appreciate it.
We'll be right back with the next guest on
Thanks,
Mr.
guys.
Mortgage's Neighborhood.